for anybody listening to this, adaptogens and nootropics. Walk everybody through what that means and then some of the things that make up MTE
Yeah.
so that people understand what we're talking about here.
So we're 11 adaptogens and nootropics and superfoods, and so adaptogens have their origin from the Russian Cold War space and athletic program, where they were doing everything they could to find an edge, and they get their name from helping. Their purpose is to help your body adapt to stress. So adaptogens adapt to stress. That's physical and mental. And it's really meant to, when you can adapt to stress, you can take on more, you can push harder and further, and that was the genesis of adaptogens. There's about, there's a lot of argument on how many there are, but generally the number is 18 to 20 in the world that are real adaptogenic, that fit all the, tick all the boxes. And adaptogens are dynamic in that they're helping you adapt, so they can rev you up, they can rev you down. If you're, it's not like our energy drink reference earlier, where it's like you're getting a stimulant whether or not you like it, right? Like adaptogens help you adapt up, down, sideways, you name it. And in modern, obviously Cold War is over, and now in modern society, I love adaptogens because a lot of the stress that we go through is not self-imposed, right? It's just the environment in which we live, right? Whether it's, all of us have phones now, and the push alerts and all the, those things are mini stressors. The blue light at night, all these types of things stress us. 24-hour news cycle, you name it. And there's a lot more pressure than ever. I mean, it's like inexplicably, not getting enough sleep is like a badge of honor now somehow. I will never understand that, but it's like I work harder. I only get 4 hours of sleep last night, and I'm like, who's winning? I mean, that doesn't sound good at all. So that's
You're just dying
adaptogen.
quicker. All you're doing is dying quicker when you do that. That's all
I
you're doing.
know. And a lot of studies are coming out too that your productivity almost grinds to nothing. So you can be sitting there on your 20th hour of work and you're getting virtually nothing done, outside of just depriving yourselves of sleep at that point. So that's adaptogens. They can also help with mood, and because they're revenue up, revenue down, they can help you sleep better. So they're very dynamic. We have 4 of them in our formula, to varying degrees. I think probably the most, and all adaptogens are not equal. They're not all the same, right? Like there's some mushroom adaptogens people find can be a little bit energizing, which can have some issues. Some people seek them out. It's on it goes. I think the most famous adaptogen is probably ashwagandha. I think a lot of people are familiar with ashwagandha. So that's adaptogens. Nootropics are meant for cognition and your brain, and to boost your brain, right? So that's going to give you greater ability to focus, greater ability to pay attention, maintain performance, cognition, blood flow to the brain sometimes is a byproduct. Anything related to the brain. So we have a few new nootropics in there, and like the world's most famous nootropic is caffeine. So that's considered a nootropic. But our new formula, the one you held up earlier, is caffeine free. So we drive that with a derivative of caffeine that's a downstream metabolite, actually. So what's nice about that is you don't get any of the pitfalls of caffeine, like insomnia, jitters, crash, the anxiety that some people get from caffeine. All those things are rendered moot by using a downstream metabolite of caffeine, which is an awesome nootropic we use, because you're still getting all of these incredible benefits. Like I said, it's enhancing your ability to pay attention. It's preventing mental fatigue after exercise. It's even allowing for better short-term memory. So among many others, and it's a wildly dynamic product, and nootropics are just so dynamic in that regard. So we stacked all these, 11 in total, and you're getting about 8 benefits to well-being. I mean, you named the big four that we put on the box, and then there's derivatives off. So their recovery in particular, but also focus. Focus for us means productivity and the ability to perform. Recovery means a lot of things to us, like gut health, which we have from a superfood that we use, chicory root. Recovery also clearly number one, better sleep at night. So you're getting clinically studied better sleep support from saffron that we use. And it's paradoxical. A lot of people are like, wait a minute, how can this be energizing and help support better sleep? And I think that therein lies the real benefit of MTE, and the real secret is it's not an energy drink that's just, that hammer of stimulation. It's for your whole system. So it's revving you up through like more natural ways of like adaptogens and nootropics, not caffeine nootropics, other nootropics, and then helping support the body in other ways with, like the gut health, the sleep, the mood, these things that help you take care of your body and help your body, frankly, take care of itself. I mean, that's the other thing that I think a lot of people miss out on. I certainly did. It kind of speaks to our discussion earlier, I think, a little bit in terms of misguiding viewpoints. The body is an unbelievable tool if you just kind of help give it some tailwind here or there, and also just get out of the way sometimes, which isn't, it's probably a controversial viewpoint from a guy who manufactured and owns a supplement. But, that's why our supplement is a light touch. We hear people sometimes are like, I don't feel any energy from this. I stopped my 6 can a day habit and I took an MT and I don't feel the same. And we're like, you don't say. It's like, it's a little different is what we've put together.
Yeah, I feel like people have a tendency to I'll use a car reference. They run their battery completely dead, then they jump start it and they run it, but they don't run it long enough for it to actually get going again, and then they have to jump start it again. And what happens is you kind of get into this problem area where you're constantly jump starting it. To the people that do the energy drinks and all those other things, the way you're describing MTE to me is, if I think of it again as a performance vehicle, it's a boost to performance vehicle. It means a performance vehicle is going to run smooth at 150, 200 miles an hour, but it's also going to run smooth at 25 miles an hour when it's at an idle or a rest. And so you're talking about a total enhancement of the body, not just a boost of energy for a moment.